The episode of the Dr. Clay Show that you're about to watch was actually filmed a couple of months ago in November of 2012. But I happen to be wearing the exact same shirt that I am today. And I actually do own more than one shirt, by the way. I own four, in case you're curious. But I'm wearing the same shirt today for good reason. But I'm getting ahead of myself because first, I have a big announcement regarding this Dr. Clay Show. The Dr. Clay Show is now daily. And when I say daily, I mean Monday through Friday. 5 days a week, a new episode of the Dr. Clay Show. You know, I want to say, well, if this, then that, you know, I'll ease into it and so on. But you know what? It's kind of like losing fat or jumping into a cold swimming pool. When it comes down to it, you just got to do it. So starting today, Monday through Friday, a brand new episode of the Dr. Clay Show. So I look forward to seeing you back tomorrow. But let's move on and address the elephant in the room. Bada bing. The Alabama Crimson Tide, which is, obviously I'm wearing a Crimson Tide shirt. The reason I'm wearing this bad boy today is not because it was the only thing clean, which does happen to be true, but it's because the Alabama Crimson Tide, my second favorite college football team, is playing in the national championship today. If they win today, Crimson Tide fans can claim 15 national championships for the Crimson Tide. That's pretty impressive. No, I mean, I'm an Auburn fan, as I'll explain in the video, but I got to admit, that's mad props to the Crimson Tide, and good luck today. By the way, my prediction is that the weakness of Notre Dame's offense is going to be their Achilles heel, so to speak. The Crimson Tide's defense is simply going to be too much. It's going to overwhelm the Notre Dame offense. Crimson Tide wins by, I don't know what they'll win by, a couple of touchdowns, but Crimson Tide's going to handle business today, I predict. Will I be upset if Notre Dame wins? Not so much. But the main topic in this show is Brussels sprouts, and it's actually they're actually rather interesting. I think you'll be excited to find that Brussels sprouts can be either used as a sporting tool. Yeah, you can take Brussels sprouts and actually play games with them. You can use them as a weapon, or you can eat them, and they help prevent cancer, actually, as you'll see. Anyway, see you tomorrow. In this episode of the Dr. Clay Show, we're going to talk about something that is absolutely fascinating. Brussels sprouts. Yeah, I'm going to make it a little bit more exciting than you think talking about Brussels sprouts could normally be. And I'll also explain why in the world this Auburn fan and grad is wearing a stinking Alabama shirt. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Dr. Clay Show. First of all, let me explain why I'm wearing an Alabama Crimson Tide t-shirt, because in the South, and those of you in Alabama, you know this, and you're probably wondering the same thing, like, has Dr. Clay lost his dang mind? And for those of you not in the South, it is, you have to, when you enter the state, if it's more than a week's time, this is unofficial, but if you're going to be there more than 7 days, no, seriously, if you live in the state, you have to be, people will ask you, are you Alabama or Auburn? They even leave out the for, or like, do you root for? They don't ask, are you into college football? The question is, are you Alabama or Auburn? It's almost like you're in a country where, let's say, two religious factions are fighting. You know, it's like, are you this one or are you that one? Well, I have to say, I'm the other one. I'm for Auburn, so to speak. But here's the deal. I mean, I graduated from Auburn. That's where I got my undergrad degree in exercise science. But up until that point, before I went to Auburn, I actually grew up an Alabama fan. And so so ended up with this t-shirt. It was a gift, and well, it was a gift where I got a gift card to go to the store, and well, I mean, they had it. It's my size. I mean, it looks good. You know, what can I say? So, but also, you know, I don't mind. I'm in, even though I'm a die-hard Auburn fan, as in, which is, don't laugh, we're having a horrible year. And in the South, you say it like that, by the way. You say we. Like even my mom, regarding Auburn, would say we. My mom never played football at Auburn. I never played football at Auburn. But that's just how it goes in the South. You claim one or the other. Anyway, I'm definitely a hardcore Auburn fan. However, I'm not an Alabama hater, and I feel like I need to duck because the like Auburn fans in the South are like gonna throw stuff at me when I say I'm not an Alabama hater, because if you're one, you're automatically supposed to be against the other. But I'm a peace, love, and happiness kind of dude. You know, that's me. I like people. I like things. I'm just a lover, not a hater. So I don't feel I feel a little bit bad, you know, but I don't really feel all that bad. It's sporting an Alabama t-shirt, because here's my deal. I want Auburn to win. I want Auburn to win the national championship every year. But so far in my lifetime, it's only happened once. So if Auburn's not going to win, I want Alabama to win. That's just how I roll. So that explains the t-shirt. Now you know. So anyway, what I want to talk about is Brussels sprouts. Now, you might be thinking I'm cracking myself up that I'm even doing an episode talking about Brussels sprouts. But here's the deal. I just became aware today. I'm a pretty smart dude. I sometimes, feign like I'm not very smart, but I'm actually rather intelligent, so they say. So, according to some tests. But here's one thing that has made me feel dumb. It's kind of humbled me. And I literally just found this out like 10 minutes ago, that this is what Brussels sprouts really look like. This is, I'm still kind of flabbergasted by it, because, I would have thought Brussels sprouts were more, not on a stalk, I don't know exactly how I pictured them. I really didn't give them a lot of thought, but this is what they look like. I just found this out like 15 minutes ago, and I went and grabbed the video camera, and here we are. So, Brussels sprouts, they come on this, stalk looking thing. It is. Did you know that? I mean, am I the only dummy that didn't know this, kind of intrigued by, you could use this as a weapon. You could play some kind of sport with it. Hey, let's go play Brussels ball. And you could grab one of these and go play, I don't know. And anyway, this came from Trader Joe's, and Brussels sprout stalk. So there's a recipe on the back where you can, roast it. It says Brussels sprouts roasted on the stalk. Well, I'll post this recipe down below, so in case you want to fire you up some roasted Brussels sprouts, there you go. So next time you have to show up, some get together with a dish, show up with one of these bad boys roasted, and we'll see how that goes over. But while we're talking about Brussels sprouts, seriously, it is a great free food or veggie. I tend to call them free foods because for my clients, I have to say, you're free to eat as much of these as you want. Well, Brussels sprouts, actually, for 100-gram serving, which is 3.5 ounces, you only get 43 calories. Only 43 calories, 9 grams of carbs. But check that out. Even in the 9 grams of carbs, 4 of that is dietary fiber. So you only end up with 5 grams of what I call usable carbs, because more or less carbohydrates that are fibrous in nature does not provide energy, within more or less speaking. Let's keep it simple. There's some elaborate stuff that goes on in our colon, but anyway, for the most part, all we need to worry about is usable carbs. So in 3 ounces of these bad boys, 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, you're only getting 5 grams of carbs, basically. And check this out. I learned something else today, too, and that's that Brussels sprouts has a decent amount of protein in them. So in that same portion, you're getting 5 grams of carb, but you're getting 3.4, to be precise, 3.38 grams of protein in just 100 grams of Brussels sprout. That's pretty cool. I mean, okay, 3.4 grams of protein is not a whopping dose, but for a vegetable, for a free food, that's a healthy amount. And the Brussels sprouts, by the way, I used to wonder why Brussels was always capitalized. Well, it's because, and I did learn this a bit, and if I didn't learn this today, but still nonetheless kind of neat. And it's because it's thought to have, at least in modern day, originated in the area that's now Brussels, Belgium. Isn't that where Jean-Claude Van Damme's from? I digress. I used to be back in the day. Speaking of digressing, back when I was much younger, but no less sexy than now, or no more sexy than now. Anyway, it was a joke anyway. But back when I was a kid and I had a flat top, I used to be a number of people there for a while. I went through this phase. It was all said that I looked like Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I don't know if that's the case, but I don't know if it's still the case. I don't really care. I mean, I find the guy, I guess he's reasonably decent looking. I don't know. I mean, there are other people that I, would rather look like, I guess, if I could pick. But the way I see it, the way I thought back then is, hey, at least they're not saying, hey, you look like Barney Fife or something like that. So anyway, no offense if you look like Barney Fife, so that's cool. But these Brussels sprouts actually are, I'm still fascinated by it. They're grown in most of what we eat in the U.S. I did just find this out, is grown like right down the road from me, down in San Mateo, Santa Cruz, Monterey, the Central Coast region. And that's literally just a few miles down the road. That's where these bad boys are grown. So in fact, even if you're in Alabama right now going Roll Tide, then you're probably not eating Brussels sprouts, but if you were, they probably came from California. So most of what we consume in the U.S. does come from right here in my neck of the woods. And they say that there are thousands of acres of these. I mean, but if I haven't come across them down when I was in Santa Cruz not too long ago, but I wasn't looking for them either. And lastly, a couple of benefits that Brussels sprouts actually has. So let me put on my serious cap. Brussels sprouts actually, they're in the cabbage family, and they're what's considered a cruciferous vegetables, which have a number of different health benefits, like potentially lowering cholesterol and protecting our DNA as well, kind of protecting our DNA from damage. Well, one of the compounds in there that is responsible for these health benefits is the glucosinolate. I had to pause for a second, make sure I pronounce it right, because that's not a word that I say, every day. But the glucosinolates are one of the beneficial compounds it's one of the phytonutrients that is found in Brussels sprouts, as well as kale, cauliflower, broccoli, and so on, these other vegetables that we know of as being cruciferous vegetables. Well, guess what? This Brussels sprouts here has actually, per serving, so to speak, has more. It's a more potent source of the glucosinolates than those other cruciferous vegetables. So there's you a reason to eat Brussels sprouts. I personally think that it's reason enough just to buy one of these bad boys to, just to check it out. I don't know. It may not be quite as fascinating, when you get one in your pretty little hands like I have today, because you will have seen it on this episode of the Dr. Clay Show. But nonetheless, because I've never seen it, I found it fascinating. So anyway, here's what Brussels sprouts look like. They're named after Brussels, Belgium. They are high in glucosinolates, and they might lower cholesterol and so on. And I'm a passive Alabama fan. That's, in summary, what has gone on in this episode of the Dr. Clay Show. Till next time.